And I know I could tell you anything. You won't judge, you're just listening. 'Cause you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. 'Cause my darling, you and I could take over the world, one step at a time, just you and I. And you're the only one who brings light just like the sun, one step at a time, just you and I.
John F. Kennedy said, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them." Welcome back to Morning Coffee. Today, I'm going to talk to you a lot about your word. My name is Rick Alexander, and I host the Morning Coffee podcast. I also have coaching programs. I've got the Clarity Academy, which is going to launch in mid-October. The point of that course, if this is the first time you're listening to this, is to teach you who you really are and what you really want out of your life. We go through personality, we go through coping mechanisms, we go through shadows, we go through all of the things that make you that you tend to not notice in your everyday awareness. So by capitulating a better picture of who you are, you have a better chance at moving through the world in a way that is actually authentic to you. And so that's the point of that course. And if you're interested, just hit me up at @RickAlexander_ or at the Morning Coffee Podcast, slip into the DMs, and I can get you signed up or get you ready or talk to you about whether or not it's good for you or not. One of the things that has changed my life in the last 6 months, of course, I'm sort of finishing up going through my journal here, lessons learned in the last 6 months. One of the biggest ones is that the most important thing that I could possibly do in my life is keep my word. And that's been a learning curve because a lot of times I will just talk and I'll just say things and then I have to live up to what I've said. And while that's been really hard, it's been great in two ways because one, I say less, right? I only add words when I think that there's value behind them or I could actually live up to them. And then it's also good because the world that I create becomes more stable. Now, one of the things that I believe, if you look at the early religions, is sort of humans were dramatizing, trying to figure out how to make sense of this life thing. I mean, I think that's what religions are inherently anyway. But one of the things that's really interesting to me is that most religions rely on the logos, which is the divine word that speaks chaos into order. If you look at the Abrahamic religions at the beginning of the Bible, that's what happened. God actually spoke the world into existence. And I think that's so important because that's what you're doing with your life every single day. You are creating your life and your world with the words that you use. Now, if your words begin to mean nothing, then the world that you create begins to mean nothing. And the people pick up on that. And the energy is then shifted and changed. And so then the world that you create is one of false narratives and lies, and that's the one you end up living in. That's also one of Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 agreements. He said, be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. And so what we're talking about there, what he's talking about there is using your word in a positive way to create the world around you. Because again, that's what your word does. And so if you're always telling yourself you're dumb whenever you screw something up, then you become dumb, right? You believe that about yourself. You believe the things that you say. And so don't other people, at least until you don't keep your word long enough. But you can see where you end up in a web. It's like a tangled mess. It's almost like if you know how if you lie to a ton of people, it becomes really hard to hold up the lies because you have to remember all of the different things that you've said to other people. And so it's far easier to just live in truth, even if at first it's not. At first you have to make the right decision to say what's only true. But the thing is, you're saying things every day that is making your life worse. And all of us do. And you could also think of this in terms of energy. Although you don't have to, another way to think about it is certain words are associated with certain vibrational frequencies. And so certain words tend to vibrate higher. And the way that you know that is true is if you just say a bunch of negative shit about yourself, how do you feel? Or if you say negative stuff about other people. And I think that's why Don Miguel Ruiz says to really get rid of gossip. Because if you're using your words to bring people down, then the world that you're creating is vibrating at a lower frequency. And I've told this story on the podcast before, but I'm going to tell it again one time real fast. I remember I was sitting in Starbucks a couple years ago writing, and I'm working on my new book, and this guy comes in there, and he, Amazon had fucked up his package, and someone cut him off. And I'm sitting there. He's sitting in the middle of I can only help but hear him. He's sitting in the middle of Starbucks, and he sees one of his friends, and he starts telling him about all the negative shit that Amazon had been putting him through lately. And I could tell his friend's like, oh, just trying to get away from it, because it's like, like that energy suck when someone's really like just being super negative around you. It's just hard to be around. And then I saw that guy's like trying to leave, and then a new friend comes in, and the new guy that the other two knew he's none the wiser. So he goes up. This guy starts telling him about his awful day. The other guy, and you've done this to people before, and you've probably had people do it to you, slowly tries to ease away from you talking, because he's like, I gotta go. And he like, you don't want to be around this negative world that this guy is creating. That's what it comes down to. It's like you could see the energy coming off him, vibrating lower, bringing people down in their resonance. And so and then this other guy got caught trapped in it. And eventually I had to leave, because I was like, I can't listen to this guy spew this bullshit anymore, because it's the world that I'm in too. And so all of that to say, if you want to create a different life for yourself, it can start with your words, okay? Like you have these thoughts, but as you start to speak your life into existence, you're saying things about you. You're saying things about the people around you. You're saying things about the hobbies and the things that you're doing. It's also why you can't be really happy if you constantly point out all of the reasons that you can't be happy. You can't be really successful if you point out all of the obstacles that you can't be, that are going to keep you from being successful, because you are essentially using your word to create obstacles in your life, and you're speaking them into existence. You're acknowledging them, and then you're focusing on them. And so no, you can't be happy if you look for reasons why not, because you will speak those into existence. And so this is also why you have to be careful about judging something as good or bad. Yesterday, one of the things I was talking about was changing the metric that you use to value and measure your life. And so look, do yourself a favor and start over. Think about your life right now. Think about it as if it were a blank slate, and say, whatever I say next is what's going to actually dictate the direction of my life. And then pay attention to all of the things that come out of your mouth. Only speak when you can be sure that you can live up, your actions can be in alignment with the things that you've said. And then only speak about the world that you want to live in. I guarantee you it will change your life in profound ways that you are not even aware of right now. The things that we say to ourselves, we believe. The things that we say to other people, they believe. If they give us a reason not to, well then the entire substructure of your world is deceit and lies and untrustworthy, and it'll be so hard to generate a healthy and good economy out of that, like to get a good friend circle and to get what you want out of this life. You have to actually start being the friend that you want in some respect. And so that starts by only speaking about the things that are actually true. Another thing that's true is that I love you guys, and I always will. Thanks for listening to another episode.
I am everything that I said I am. Keep my shit tight, man. Motherfucking Hoover Dam. And I ain't cracking anytime soon. My mindset is fine-tuned. I swear it will be mine soon. Showdown in high noon. Sharp as a harpoon. Crash like a monsoon. Style like a costume. I'm constantly awesome. Voice fresh as spring. Yo, my beats about to blossom. Caution, get out the pit when I'm moshing. My friends are a high. Yeah, I'm nice and I got them that way. We bows on parade. My bowls full of weed, man. Higher than a pterodactyl. You can call me caveman. California raisin. Hear me through the grapevine. Dirty BB days again, but man, I'm feeling just fine. I be out in Vegas while your bitches just a state line. I ain't never stopping till I finally feel like I got mine.
We're never gonna lay down, we ain't going nowhere. You can come and give a try. Our bond is our blood and thicker than water, like Goonies never say die. Oh, cause Goonies never say oh, cause Goonies never say die.
Keep it cool, right? I'm like an avalanche. I get stupid when I want to. Rain Man, I keep it flowing now. I do the rain dance. Man, everybody loves me, call me Rain Man. Here I go, I be getting so high like I'm standing on my tippy toes. Spread my wings and fly, but I got 2 arms where my wings should go. Hungry as an animal, tearing down the devil's door. He's selling me a soul for all the lyrics in my arsenal. Eyes red, lungs full, half-master flagpole. I'm about to kill this beat and throw it in a drowning pool. Hair long, style cool, lyrics fresh, jet fuel. On this track, no looking back, I'm hippie like a hacky sack. Smoother than a Cadillac, leave MCs needing Medivac. Yeah, I lost my shit, but bitch, you know I got my passion back. Locked inside my temper trap, I'm laughing at y'all pussycats. Cause I ain't never stopping till the top is what I'm looking at.
We're never gonna lay down, we ain't going nowhere. You can come and give a try. Our bond is our blood and thicker than water, like Goonies never say die. Oh, never say die. Okay, listen up, kiddos, I'm a shark, you're a minnow. Balls on your chin, call your bitch Jay Leno. Don't go swimming, cause your shit sounds minstrel. And we ain't here to play Dr. Dre South Central. Spit barbiturates to make you rub your tits and shit. Have your body moving, shaking hips with throwing fits. Willie sitting high, just as out of time as now. Now I'm flowing my DeLorean, Marty McFly. Yeah, anybody home, 2 spliffs to the dome. It's a headshot, dreadnought, noobs get pwned. Yeah, I fucking said it, it was so last year. I got a pack full of gear and a trunk full of beer. We're never gonna lay down, we ain't going nowhere. You can come and give a try. Our bond is our blood and thicker than water, like Goonies never say die. We're never gonna lay down, we ain't going nowhere. You can come and give a try. Our bond is our blood and thicker than water, like Goonies never say die. Oh, cause Goonies never say die. Never say die.